Let's start with the section 4 of our lecture, in which we will talk about some other disorders of the middle ear. We already talked about the acute suppurative otitis media, then we talked about the acute necrotizing otitis media, their treatment, management, complications, some predisposing factors. So now in this section we will talk about the sequel of chronic secretory otitis media. Then we will talk about the recurrent acute otitis media and then the management. So sequel of chronic secretory otitis media. So far we talked about the acute otitis media. Acute is short-term, chronic is long-term. So short-term, when we mentioned about acute disorders or acute otitis media, the signs which we saw are the appearance of the tympanic membrane or the middle ear that is related to the acute condition. It's more hyperemic and there are secretory changes. But now in chronic phase, because it's for the long duration, it can cause different changes and different signs you will be seeing. So sequel of what happens in the chronic secretory otitis media. There is atrophy of tympanic membrane and atelectasis of the middle ear. Now condition is there for a long time. It can cause atrophy of the tympanic membrane and there is atelectasis of the middle ear also. Ossicular necrosis, the bones present in the middle ear, the incus, malleus and stapes, those are destroyed and there is necrosis. You can see this blackish area, or now the necrosis or death of the tissues is mainly it present as blackish area. So all these are the necrotizing changes or ossicular necrosis occur. Then we have tympanosclerosis. Due to long-standing condition, sclerosis is the hardening. So tympanic membrane become hard and that mobility of the tympanic membrane is lost. Retraction pockets and cholesteatoma. Retraction pockets, whereas the tympanic membrane is lower and there is retraction of the tympanic membrane and there is presence of the abnormal cells are present also, cholesteatoma. There are also deposits of cholesterol in, you can see the cholesterol granulomas are also present. So all these are the different conditions as compared to acute phase or acute otitis media. You can see the chronic otitis media have completely different presentation. There are cholesterol granulomas, retraction pockets, hardening of the tympanic membrane, and also necrosis of the ossicles. Then recurrent acute otitis media. Why the patients keep on having the recurrent attacks of acute otitis media? So in this, it's more common in infants, occur after acute upper respiratory tract infections. The underlying cause of recurrent otitis media is recurrent sinusitis, velopharyngeal insufficiency, hypertrophy of adenoid, tonsillitis, allergies, and immune deficiency. Lot of patients you see, especially in the seasonal allergy seasons, Patients who have allergies to pollens, who have allergies to dust and different other things, they can have recurrent attacks because they keep on complaining about the upper respiratory tract infection, and as a result of these recurrent attacks there is usually narrowing of the eustachian tube, and there is fluid present in the middle ear also. Next, the management. Management is mainly eliminating the cause that is causing recurrent attacks of otitis media. That has to be treated. Suppose if it's because of tonsillitis, tonsillectomy should be performed, which can relieve the upper respiratory tract infections. If there are other causative organisms, if there are allergies, sinusitis, those can be treated to prevent the recurrent otitis media. Then antimicrobial prophylaxis treatment, myringotomy, and insertion of tympanostomy tube. So here, incision in the tympanic membrane and insertion of the tube so it can keep on draining, and if there is abnormality of the eustachian tube, it can maintain the pressure balance also. So all these can be tried to prevent the recurrent attacks of otitis media. Adenoidectomy with or without tonsillectomy. So as I mentioned, if there are tonsils are big, if there is adenoid hyperplasia, they can be treated by the removal of adenoids or tonsils. Management of inhalant or food allergies if present. So all these are the steps, but the main thing that should be done is to treat the causative factor that is leading to recurrent upper respiratory attacks, and this can lead to acute recurrent otitis media, which ultimately can lead to blockage or narrowing of the eustachian tube and accumulation of fluid in the middle ear. So thank you for watching sqadia.com.